Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very special welcome to Faygele. It's very special, Faygele, that you are here this evening at my kitchen table, just from far. It's very special because you're kind of noob. We don't know each other for such a long time. But the little bit that I saw is that you're a very, very sweet person that I have seen. And I think whatever you're doing is very good and full of energy, but we'll be talking about all that a little bit later. Well, for us Dutch people, it's always interesting to know, like even if you live in Amsterdam and you grew up in Amsterdam, but like my children grew up in The Hague or are growing up in The Hague, it's always interesting to know how it is when you come from a very big city with lots and lots of Jews. Now, I think you are someone who can tell us a little bit how it was for you growing up in London. They say that London is as big as the provincie Utrecht. So, you know, for us, that's quite a big city, and you grew up there. Now, please share with us how it was and how the city is. I mean, I understand you cannot tell about the whole city, but the part of the city that you can share with us, we would love to hear.
Firstly, hi everybody. Good evening. Hi. Nice to see some familiar faces. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. I would like to thank Hashem firstly for all the blessings and opportunities he has blessed me and my family. And so back to the question. Yes, I come from North London, otherwise known as Stamford Hill, and I was brought up on Colbert Place, small street. Stamford Hill is a very big area, covers a very large area. I would say that I actually live pretty much in the center. And if someone would walk 45 minutes north, east, south, and west from my home, they would still be in Stamford Hill, and there would still be a large amount of religious Hasidic families living there. So wow. I'm very lucky. So I really did see a lot, and I have a lot to share with you. On my street alone, there were all different kinds of Jews from different Hasidic backgrounds. We have Belz and Satmar. We had a few Chabad families, the Sephardi, and more, I'm sure. Because of the large amount of Hasidic groups in Stamford Hill, there are actually hundreds of shuls in Stamford Hill area alone. Each group having at least one beautiful, nice, big shul, and many others, because people are always trying to catch a minyan, daven with 10 people, 10 men together. And the mikvahs for the men too, they're either attached to the shul or somewhere nearby. There's just so many shuls. On my street alone, there were only 35 houses, and there were 3 shuls at the beginning of my road. So that's just the that's the picture. On Shabbos and Yom Tov, it was a beautiful sight. Actually, I really enjoyed that. All the Jews had finished shul, and the streets would just be filled with Jews. You know, the men in their talesim just flying in the wind, all the children, the mothers, everyone just coming out at the same time. It was really an incredible sight, and something that I enjoyed to be part of. Because there's so many different groups, there are also many different schools. There wasn't just one school for everybody. I mean, they wouldn't even fit. So each group has their own school, and a large school too. So we have a girls' school, the boys' school. The nursery is not necessarily, it wasn't so specific. And we also had a Chabad school, and that's the school that I went to. What was different about my Chabad school, the school that I went to, was that half the students there actually didn't come from the Stamford Hill area. They were coming from all over the United Kingdom. We had girls from Scotland, Manchester, Leeds, Wimbledon, Luton, Stanmore, Golders Green, Edgware, Hendon, Ilford, Brighton. I might have missed some, but it was like a unity school happening right there in Stamford Hill. I was very lucky to live 2 minutes walk away from the school. Baruch Hashem, we used it in lots of different ways because there were lots of events, school shows, or times that girls couldn't travel back and forth to go home. It was just a waste of time, or they had a program to stay on a little later or whatever it was. And that would be an opportunity because I lived so close to school, never mind in Stamford Hill. It was an opportunity for me to bring home friends and my siblings also. We had like sometimes little groups of girls coming to our house, having supper, and then going back to school to do whatever they needed to do. And that was really nice. I was able to give at the same time.
Yes, so there must have been a lot of girls they were living in homes of families, the ones that came from afar?
Yeah, so most of them actually traveled in and went home every single day, traveling for an hour or two by public transport. The Golders Green, Hendon, Edgware, Ilford girls actually had a private bus that would come and drop them off and pick them up at the end of the school day. So it was a normal sight for the locals to be walking together with their siblings and seeing the main street lined with buses, picking up the girls to take them home.
Okay.
That was, looking back, I didn't even think it was different. It was just, that's what it was. And then again, because I had friends living in different cities, if I would go away, when I went away for a Shabbos, I was going to a friend's house, right? It wasn't just down the block or so. It was an experience because I went to somewhere, a community I don't know, a place I don't know, but it was my friend. So it was an opportunity.
Okay.
Another thing, very important, there were many Jewish stores. So kosher food stores, there's a few, butcher, accessory stores, Judaica stores, gift stores, you name it, and there's very good bakeries too. So I think that sums it up. It was always happening. There was always symptoms going on. In the evening, it was pretty much safe to walk because there's always Jews walking around somewhere, something's going on. So, and that's where I grew up.
Okay,
and I really loved it.
That's a nice place to grow up. Can you share something about your family? Like, we hear about the city, but I'm sure you have something to tell about the family you grew up in.
Sure. So I'm actually the oldest of 11, thank God. And that was a lot of fun. We just lived together. We were part of each other's lives by default almost. And we would shop together, bake together, dance together, sing together. We were celebrating for each other. We argued, we played games. We were just a whole party. During the week, it was very busy. We all had our own routines. We all had our own schedule. This one's running in and out, and this, everyone had literally their own schedule. I don't know how my mother kept on top of it, honestly. Hats off to my mother. I don't know how she did it. But then Friday night would come and my mother would light the Shabbat candles and suddenly this warm glow would settle over our home. My father and brothers would go to shul and my mother and us girls would stay home and we would go to the living room. And there we just relaxed together. We read in each other's company. We chatted about everything and nothing. And we sang together. It was really special because the week was just, all over. And Shabbat was Shabbat was the time to connect with the family and touch base. Another thing, we were all of us siblings, we were all part of a large family. And during the Shabbat meal, my father would obviously share some Torah thoughts. But what was very special was that each of us children had our opportunity, had our turn to share something that we learned that week, or something about the weekly Torah portion we learned. And the younger children would come up to the front of the table near my father, and the older ones would stay in their seats. But the point is, everyone had their opportunity and time to feel important and to share. During that time also, there was a lot of respect. Obviously, we were quiet, we listened, we joined, and we giggled at the 2-year-olds. It was a lot of fun. That's my family.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, you were the oldest. Did you have to help a lot?
So partially I had to help, and partially I helped on my own. I'm the oldest. Sometimes we just take responsibilities that we probably, life would go on if we didn't do them. But yes, I helped a lot.
Okay, but you did it with pleasure.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, beautiful. Okay, so I imagine you finished your high school in London, and then what did you do? How did your life develop?
So I finished 12th grade. That's 6 years of high school, and then I went to seminary for a year in Jerusalem. That was a beautiful experience. After that, I still wanted to continue another seminary experience, and I went to Ukraine for a year in the that was a learning seminary and also shlichut seminary. So we also taught in Jewish schools that weren't so religious or just wanted more energy coming from the outside, because Ukraine is a third world country. And that was a great experience. And side note, I started in childcare, and I also went into shekels and hair. I washed shekels and cut shekels and hair, and I really enjoyed that. And I'll talk about it a little further on when I talk about my shakos there. But that's what I did. And then I got married to my husband. And we lived in New York for 2.5 years. And then we came here.
Okay, so 1 second. From Ukraine, you got married?
No, not straight away. I worked for between 2 and 3 years. I lived back at home.
You came back home?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I lived in London, and then I got married and moved to New York. And then moved to Amsterdam.
Okay, and how long are you in Amsterdam now?
So we're actually celebrating our 2nd year here this week.
Okay, very nice.
It's very exciting, and we're looking forward to beginning our 3rd year and reaching a lot more people.
Very nice. Okay. I'm still curious to know, like you say, you come from a very big family and you're the oldest. How did that influence you as a person?
That's a good question. I hadn't thought about it much, but I guess I'll think about it now and talk as I'm thinking. Oldest in general are more responsible. I've been responsible already, had a lot more responsibility than a regular child, a middle or a youngest. I have a close relationship with my parents. Maybe youngest everyone has a different relationship. I'm a leader. I'm the leader of the gang, or so I like to think. I haven't really. But of course it's all in my makeup. This is who I am. I am an oldest. People, people look at you and they're like, "Oh, you're a youngest," or "Oh, you're an oldest." So yes, I get that. I am an oldest. Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel that it helps you in the work that you're doing?
Definitely. definitely. I would say we are leaders in the work we are doing, you know. We came here as leaders. It happens to be my husband is also an oldest, so we're two oldest. So there's a lot of power going on there. And yeah, we're leaders, we're ambitious. I guess we're young, so we also have, you know, that energy. And yeah,
Okay.
we're not going to take a no so quickly. We're not going to, you know, we're going to keep trying and really put ourselves through it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's picture you come from this enormous city of London, and as you describe, the part of London where you come from is so big and so full of Jews. And then you arrive in Amsterdam. Now, I live in The Hague, so Amsterdam for us is a much bigger Jewish community, but still compared to London, it's very few. Well, you come here because your husband, I suppose, because your husband is from here. His parents, Rabbi Spiero from Amsterdam, is well known in the city. And your mother-in-law, Medina, she used to organize these beautiful events. That was like really, really amazing. And nowadays we don't do these things, but it was really beautiful. So you arrive here, and how is it to come in this very small Jewish community? Didn't you feel like lonely, or was it difficult for you?
Yeah, so as I said, I've been around the world, well, quite a few cities. I've lived there for a year. So I did think that Amsterdam would be something similar to London, because it wouldn't be similar to New York or Ukraine or Israel. So something similar to London, but no, I was wrong. It's very different in a good way. There's beautiful things about Amsterdam, but the new move, the new step that we took, it was a huge challenge. Yes, I felt lonely. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know the language. I still don't know the language. Actually, when we moved here, I gave birth 2 months after. So that was also, so there were a lot of new things at the same time. But all beginnings are, you know, they come with a set of challenges. So, and room for growth. So that's what it was. And Amsterdam is really, I personally like nature and strive for a healthier lifestyle. And I feel like Amsterdam actually caters for that a lot, and also has a lot of motivation. People are much more into it. And there's also that space, very calm, sometimes too calm. Honestly, the first time I came to Amsterdam, I said to my husband, I was like, my ears are hurting. Like the silence is actually hurting my ears. It was so quiet. And I would wake up in the night from the birds tweeting at like 4 or 5 in the morning in the summer. You know, it was very quiet. But I'm very happy here, thank God.
Okay,
And
but
it's
you're
still
not,
beginning, so it's, you know, it's still challenging.
but you're not living in the city,
Right.
in the actual the binnenstad. You're living in Buitenveldert. So yeah, Buitenveldert is, it's like where I grew up in Amstelveen, you know, it's quiet, it's very relaxed. But anyway, now with Corona, I guess the city is also very quiet.
Right.
Okay, so you came here, and what really is your goal? What are the things that you're doing, that you are busy with?
So when my husband and I got married, we had a passion that we would really like to move to somewhere, a city, somewhere in the world, and go there, live there, and try and build and strengthen the Jewish community that lives there, and cater for them to connect more to their Jewish spot, to Judaism, as much as they are comfortable with. So we had a few things on the table, and Amsterdam just stuck out. The potential there was huge. So then we planned this, you know, we sat down, and for months we were planning together to see how we can strengthen the community, how we can impact the community most, and cater for exactly their needs. We spoke to rabbis, and we spoke to our friends who are in the same field as us. And we came up with a plan, and we saw that the biggest need was to be there for the Dutch Jews, the Dutch Jewish community, and specifically families, so families with young children. So we are here for the Dutch-speaking Jewish families in Amsterdam and surrounding areas, so very cool specific. That's
Okay, because Amsterdam, I mean, there's a Jewish community in Amsterdam for 300, I don't know how many years, maybe you're close to 400 already. And still, what you say, like you felt there is a need and there is what to do for you.
Yeah. So in Amsterdam and the surrounding areas alone, there are 30,000 Jews. So there is just so much to do. To reach all those 30,000 Jews is not, it doesn't take one couple, you know?
Right.
So we came here to, you know, we saw there was a vacuum and we really wanted to try fill it to a certain extent. We opened a Hebrew school, which thank God is growing every week. I just don't understand it. It's just incredible. So many blessings from God and from the Rebbe, because we are doing the Rebbe's work. That's why we came. And we feel the blessings the whole time, which is very empowering and also inspiring us to do more. And we...
So tell us a little more about your Hebrew school. How does it work? Like, what do you do that's different than what there has been done in the past?
So in our Hebrew school, we accept everybody that is their mother is Jewish, and it's 2 hours, 10 till 12 in the morning on Sunday, and we start with a davening. The kids are singing the song, singing that Hashem is everywhere, and incredible because it creates a motivation, like a competition in a healthy way. It's adorable to see the children, you know, and they all applaud for each other when they finish a book and on to the next level. After Aleph Beis, the children have a break. They go outside and play, and that's like for 10 minutes, and then they come inside and they have a snack, and they have the opportunity to make the bracha on a drink and snack. And after that, they divide up into classes, and each class learns a different topic. So there's one class learning the parsha of the week, which is the younger one, and they do a craft, and they have a sensory box that, as the teacher is teaching them about the parsha, they have those little, how do you say munchies? People, little, you know, those little toy people, or, you know, if Esav gave Yitzhak, if Esav gave Isaac some lentil soup, so the children were playing with lentils while having those little people. So very sensory and interactive. Then another class is going through the story of Bereshit, the whole book of Bereshit, starting with creation, going through Noah, and then acting out. Very, very interactive. There's videos that they're watching. There's game shows that they're doing. There's crafts that they're taking part of. It's just very interactive also. So we split that also. We learn about Israel after Pesach, the Holy Land. And then there's another class that goes through all the different mitzvot that we can do in a Jewish home. So, for example, welcoming guests. So we have a guest room. What can we do? How do we welcome our guests? All the different things. And the children come up with such cute things. Also the brachot and the kosher kitchen and the parents' bedroom, respect to the parents. Mezuzah and Filat Yadayim, it really covers a whole bunch. In the end, they have like the whole foundation of a Jewish home. And there's a very warm community-like atmosphere in Hebrew school. everyone kind of knows each other. The parents chat together by pickup and drop off time. It's just it's like one family. So and our curriculums are being used also all over the world. We've translated them into Dutch to give the Dutch children an opportunity to experience the modern stuff that's out there. So that's our Hebrew school.
Okay, sounds exciting. And about how many kids do you have now?
We currently have 29, thank God.
Very nice.
And we've just we didn't really open last year we had 15 and it's really bumped up. So we've been here, as I say, we're hitting our 2-year mark. So it's again really incredible, and we feel the blessings that are with us.
But you started before Corona was there, right?
Right.
And did it change when Corona came?
No, it got big. I mean, yes, it got bigger.
Okay, that's good. Okay, very nice. Okay, so that's one of your projects when you came to Amsterdam. And are there other things that you're busy with?
Yeah, so when we just came, we came right before Hanukkah, right? It's right before Hanukkah now. So straight away, we're here for the families. Let's see, what can we do? So we made a Hanukkah Carnival, and we we're so surprised. We ended up with around 50 children. And this gave us the push. And like, yes, we really need it here. Let's see what else we could do. So we did a Latkes bash on Hanukkah for teens, which had a great turnout too. And things just kind of went from one thing to the next. Like, it wasn't even in our control. There was evidently such a need and people were thirsty for it that they just came. And Purim, and then I had a baby, and then Purim, we made a huge family meal for families. We had 150 guests at that. Then we did a matzah bakery with 50 people right before Pesach, 50 children. So as I say, it just kind of fell out of our hands and just went on its own accord, catering for everyone that wanted it. It was there. There were the opportunities. Another thing that my husband does is for every festival throughout the year, he creates a brochure with all the information, basic information, little insights, tidbits, information that you need to know how to, do the festival yourself. And this is in Dutch, and it's going around the whole Holland for every festival. And that's also something that there wasn't and was a big necessity, especially now, because it actually goes into people's homes that they're alone. They cannot do the festival or know how to without being informed. And now that my husband works hard on these brochures that are beautiful and colorful and small enough not to be overdone, and they go around and really bring insight and inspiration to people in their own homes. So that's another very special thing that we do. And we got feedback that people are just so appreciative. So that's also something that just wasn't.
For example, like the Purim party, things like that. Are there things that you do together with the Jewish community of Amsterdam, or it's all separate?
So everything is separate from the Jewish community. We come here, we're called Mishpacha, as Mishpacha means family. So we decided that would be a nice win. Sorry?
Mishpacha in Hebrew, like Mishpacha in Hebrew.
Mishpacha in Hebrew, but for the Dutch people, they say Mishpacha. So it's just a one-liner, Amsterdam Jewish Family Center, and we are, we're here, and we are happy to hear how we could do more from the families themselves, what they would like to see, and what would help them connect. And we try to do that.
And do you have a place of your own, or do you have to rent? How does it work?
So we're here for 2 years, and the way of the world, I don't think people get buildings or a place where they're, to call their own straight away. So no, we do not have our own place. My husband has an office, And in the same building, we also rent classrooms for our Hebrew school. All the larger events, we also rent halls or large rooms to cater for that. So yeah, that's how we are doing for now. One day we wish to have a building. We're actually, for Hebrew school, we're popping out of the building right now, but that's the way it goes, right? Thank God for that.
Okay, so you say there's so many, like you say, 30,000 Jews living in Amsterdam and area. There's plenty of work to do, and you don't feel that you're like, you have the Jewish community, they don't see you as if you're taking people from them. It's like there's a good communication with the existing rabbis. And
yeah, so one thing is that before we even came, we made sure that we were going to always speak good communication, not to step on anyone's toes or to do a program that's already existing and things like that. So of course, like monthly, if we have a new initiative, we call someone we think that they may be doing something similar or something like that. And we make sure to ask them, say, oh, we would really like to do this. Is this something that you do, or can we do it, or should we do it together? So yeah, the things that we do, either we're there and we're building on, like the Purim family meal, my in-laws were doing that every year. And, so we did that together. And the new things, the new initiatives, they just weren't there, or they stopped for some reason for a few years. So we opened it up and, brought it back, because nothing for the Jewish families should ever stop. It has to continue going, growing, being giving, and really, give the opportunities for the families to, connect, to come somewhere.
right.
So, yeah.
Okay, sounds beautiful. So, okay, we spoke already a lot about London, because I wanted to ask you, like, what's the difference if you look at the Jewish community here and there? But is there really something you could say about that?
Yes. So there's a similarity that there are just all different kinds of Jews living together. It's not like all the bells live together, or we all live together amongst each other. One thing I find is that here people are very friendly and very warm to each other, no matter of the person's background, and also very giving, like really, really giving from their heart. And it's really special to see. Even an example, a couple of weeks ago, a friend here had a baby, and there's a WhatsApp group for mothers to, when a mother has a baby, everyone says mazel tov, and someone arranges meals for the mother's family for approximately, a time of approximately 2 weeks or so. So anyways, this mother had a baby, and someone put it on the group, we're looking for meals for 2 weeks. And I'm not even kidding, within 6 minutes, all those meals for 2 weeks were taken. Everyone already took them and booked it. And that struck me. I was like, wow. So it doesn't matter how large a community is, doesn't matter how, just being together and just really being one unit and being ready to give to one another, that really, stuck out there. And I find that, there's a lot to pride. There's a lot of, they should really be proud of themselves over there. It was incredible, really. Like, I saw those 6 minutes from the message, I was like, wow. That's
yeah, that's quite amazing. Yeah,
that's very special.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, do you have some interesting encounters or things that happened in the past 2 years that you would like to share with us?
I wouldn't say I have something interesting. I would say more miraculous. I mean, the fact that we're here is miraculous. The fact that we're doing and the amount we're doing is miraculous. So yeah, nothing really interesting. Although when we just had two children that actually just moved from a Hebrew school to a Jewish school. So this is really special. This is why we're here. So these are the kind of stories that give us that boost, keep us going. Yeah, it's not interesting. It's beautiful. So.
Okay. So, like, do you have a big dream? I'm sure you have.
So as you said, I'm young, I have dreams, right? But really my dream is that all Jews should really notice and reveal that godly spark within them, really tap into it. It's theirs for ownership. And obviously we should have the ultimate goodness and revealed light of Mashiach's coming and take us out of here because we're not supposed to be here. That's really the dream.
Okay. And like how to continue in the work that you're doing? What are you hoping for?
To reach as many people as possible, to really give those experiences to all those that want on everyone's individual level.
Okay. How do you find the people? Like how do they come to you?
So it's hard work. It is. So it starts with saying hi to one person, and then they bring in their friend into the picture, and then they bring in their friend to the picture. We definitely had the name Spiero from my in-laws, so people already knew the name, and they're beautiful people, so people came to us automatically. So thank you for that. That was a big help with lots of contact. But then again, it starts with knowing one person and they are happy or whichever, or find interest and spread the word. It's really about spreading the word. And also advertising. These days, marketing is really like the number one. I wouldn't say we like each company actually needs like someone to take care of that. So we're not at that point yet. So we do all ourselves. And it's a lot of work, through Facebook and through LinkedIn and all the other things out there. And again, word of mouth is really the biggest advocate. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm actually very curious. Quite some years ago, there was a family from Amstelveen that used to bring their two boys every Sunday morning to The Hague because there was no Joodse in Amsterdam or area. And then they moved to France, so they weren't coming to us anymore. And I think they came back to Amsterdam. So I'm very curious if they maybe came to your Talmud Torah, to your Sunday school. But
I wouldn't know. If you send me the name, then I can find out. But on that note, we actually have a family from Utrecht and a family from Amersfoort in our Hebrew school.
Oh, wow.
So it's really, the name is going out there. So thank God.
That's great.
Yeah, we do, as I said, we cater for Amsterdam and the surrounding areas. We actually don't cater, but if someone would like to join, we're there. We have
right. If they decide to come to you. Okay. Okay.
And
now
I just want to point out, we actually call the rabbis near them and say, oh, by the way, that kid wants to come to us. Like, do you know about that? And make sure everything, everyone's happy about it. So that's another thing to bring up.
Okay. Yes, that's for sure. I mean, something to do, right? If I would have children from The Hague going to Amsterdam to Joodse les, I would be wondering.
I'll send them back.
But yes, we have to take care of each other and check out with each other. That's very good that you're doing that way. Okay, so here we have, well, I did ask your age and I don't need to know it, but you're young, you're still, you know, like 2 years here, 2.5 years in Crown Heights, if I understood correct.
Correct, yeah.
But you're still, you know, young and energetic. What kind of message would you like to give over to the young people listening?
Okay, so I am young, but I'm a young mother. So what I do want to say is invest time in your family. Your family is everything. Laugh together, really just relax together. That's my message. And for women and mothers out there, I would say naturally we are giving and caring for others the whole time. So what my message is, do one thing for yourself to make yourself happy, to take care of yourself, whatever it is, do a project for yourself that you wanted to do or something, because when the woman of the house is happy, the whole family is happy and relaxed.
Yes.
Right. Okay, I do think that we should take the opportunity when we're talking to you, and you mentioned that you learned to cut hair and to do shetels. I do think it's maybe interesting if you can tell us a little bit how that is to be, as we call it, a shetelmacher, like someone who takes care of shetels, because most women who wear a shetel is a wig, it's not like your hair, right? Your hair, you take a shower, you wash your hair, and you do with it what you want. But the shetel doesn't work that way. Maybe you want to share a little bit about how that is to be a shetelmacher, and what do you do? Like, what is it?
Sure. So I'll just take a few steps back. When a Jewish woman gets married, their hair becomes holy, just like the rest of the body. And it's a mitzvah, it's a commandment to cover it because it's holy and beautiful. So we have a shetel, we wear a shetel, and it's a lot of maintenance. It's not the same as, you know, dyeing and adding hair extensions and all that. Everyone has their, you know, they could go for whatever color they like. It doesn't have to be their natural color that they used to have. There are different lengths, there are different feels, there are different cuts, you know, different styles. There are shetels you can put up to look much more natural, or for the summers because it could be hot. There are more glamorous. There are ones with lace fronts, which can be cut exactly to the shape of your hairline, which look also natural, especially if they're flat. And yeah, there's stuff out there. I mean, so this is something that the Jewish woman wears, but even in the non-Jewish world, they also wear wigs, and there's a lot out there. And I really enjoy doing working with shetels specifically. I actually first learned hair, and then when I came back from seminary, I went into shetels, into wigs, because I just wanted something more. And I find it a lot more challenging and creative. I find it very important that when a woman gets married and they're covering their hair, they should feel like a woman. They should feel themselves. They should feel beautiful. And the Chabad Rebbe was very, very into this, and he really supported this, that women should feel themselves. They should buy a beautiful, gorgeous shetel and cover their hair fully, because it's a really big mitzvah that commanded that brings a lot of blessings down to the woman herself and to the whole family, and with blessings for, you know, upright children and many more. So I just, you know, when I have a client in the chair, I don't let them leave until they're 100% happy. You know, sometimes people could say, but then like even a little hair out of place, I'm like, you're not leaving my chair until you're 100% happy. Tell me how, you know, what should I do? What can I do? So yeah. Also, when a client sits on the chair, it's their time to relax. It's their time to be spoiled woman needs to be spoiled, yes. And they need to feel good and compliments, and it's fun. It's nice to also chat about random things. It's just a nice time, and it's an opportunity that I'm very grateful for, that I could use my talent here on Schlittgut, living in Amsterdam, because, you know, I learned in London, and there I was very busy, but it was a very big community. Then I moved to New York, and I was very busy, but it was a very big community. So I was coming to Amsterdam, I was like, can I use my talent here? And thank God, yes, I really can. I'm doing people's wigs every week, and hair.
So you have enough women that come to have their shetels washed and set by you?
Yeah, thank God. And I also cut, so that comes once in a while.
Okay, so you also do cutting hair for girls and women?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a lot to do to keep you busy. Your two little daughters and all the shetels of the city.
Thank God.
Plus the work what you came for.
Yeah, a lot to juggle.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're young and you have the energy to do it all, to juggle it all.
Thank God. I hope I always will.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we would like to hear from you a last message to everybody, not per se young people or women, but just a message, maybe especially in the difficult Corona time, maybe something else. What would you want to tell the people?
So I actually haven't even thought of it, but I'm thinking right now, smile. Smile goes miles, right? Smiles is the best medicine. Smile, the world smiles with you. Smile, your whole atmosphere is happier. Smile at yourself, you'll be uplifted. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't take anything. It's so easy. It can make someone's day. And on that note, giving to others gives to yourself. So if someone's at home and they don't see people that lonely, or know someone that's lonely, pick up the phone and give them a call, have a little chat, you know, go for a walk in the park if you're comfortable with that. And really just count our blessings and smile.
Wow, that are very beautiful messages. Well, as I said, we have met each other a few times in the past 2 years, and I started saying that you are a very sweet lady. That's the impression I get, and I think that everybody after this interview will have the same feeling. Like you say, smile, and that's what you are uitstralen. How I say that in English? You're spreading light while you're talking and telling. It's very beautiful. We wish you a lot of hatzlacha, of success in the work that you're doing, and all the things in your family and everything around it, in good health. And we hope that we can again meet in normal circumstances when there are parties and other lectures organized, etc., which we missed now. We do everything on Zoom, but it's also nice to see each other face to face. And all the people who are listening here, I'm sure they will agree with me that the Zoom is still going strong, but we still want also to meet each other face to face. A lot of people that are joining here on a regular basis are people that live far in the country, like Limburg or Groningen or Enschede. And I'm sure that once Corona is taken care of, we might, you know, maybe make a big meeting with all the people together who have been seeing each other on Zoom so many months. And maybe you'll organize a nice party for us.
Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you for your beautiful words. And I would like to say thank you so much to Rebbetsin Katzman for initiating this whole tea in the kitchen thing. Is really beautiful, a reason for everyone to get into the kitchen. And you've been doing it for what? Months, since Corona started practically. It's incredible how it's still going on.
It's my husband's credit. I do it, but he's the motor behind me.
I recognize that line.
It's true.
Okay,
Maybe he'll
thank you
say
for
the same
having me.
about me, but that's how I feel.
Thank you for having me. It was a privilege.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
Faygele.
Thank you so much. At
And
9
thank you.
o'clock, is there going to be, at 9 o'clock, there is Opera by Jacobs with his weekly class. So whoever wants to stay is welcome to stay. And everybody that's